All right, so we've seen some data validation inside of an Excel list. We've seen the drop-down menu, give them the makes to choose from, and we've seen a decimal range. You got to input a numeric value with a decimal between this and this. Now, data validation in a list is great, but it's actually not the only place that you can use data validation. I'm going to show you how you can combine a data validation list, a little drop-down menu, with functions inside of Excel, making the function more interactive and more dynamic. Now, I'm still inside of the Excel 102 exercise file, but now I'm going to go back to the list functions worksheet. This is that worksheet that we were on earlier where we created the subtotal, the dsum, daverage, and the dcount functions. All right, so I love these functions. We talked about dsum earlier, where I had the sum of the total sales column based on the category criteria of rent and all this other stuff, right? I love it. But the criteria section, it's up to the users to know what to put there and how to spell it. Okay, as you've seen going through these videos, my spelling's not the best. So if I misspell something, let's say I go to cell I5 where I currently have rent, I'm going to put in supplies, right? I hit my enter key and it updates my formula. But what if I misspelt it? What if I leave off the E, right? I hit my enter key and, oh, well, that's not right, right? And I'll sit here and I'll look at it. It's like, what is going wrong? Why is this not working? Then I'll eventually realize that, oh, I misspelt it, right? Supplies. Should be supplies, right? Put the E back in there. And that updates my formula. Even a space, something you can't visually see, right? At least easily. I put an extra space in there, I hit my enter key, and I've messed up the formula. So I want some place to make this more intuitive and more interactive for the users. So when someone goes to cell I5, we'll give them a drop down with all of the options for them to pick from, just like we did with the make. Now we're going to switch things up here a little bit. In the make, we went to data validation. We picked the allow list and we typed out all the values right here. Ford, comma, Chevy, comma, Pontiac, comma, and so on. Well, this time, rather than typing out the list, we're going to reference a range of cells that contains the list. Take a look. So I'm going to move over here to the right someplace. I'm going to go into like let's go to N2. Okay? Yeah, N2. And I'm going to create a list of the categories the user can pick from. So instead of N2, I'll get technical support, enter, telephone, make sure I'm spelling those properly, enter. What else do we got? Copying. And, I didn't spell that one right. And it formatted it funny on me too, copying. If I grab that one, it's just copying the formatting from over here. So go to home, clear, and clear formats. Let's just get that as text. Let's do a couple more. Let's say overhead, enter, and software. That sounds good. I got my little list. So now with those values there, I'm going to go back to I5. I'm going to go to data validation. I'm going to change it from allow any value to a list. And this time my source, I'm going to grab that range of cells, N2 to N6, or wherever your list is at. I'll hit OK. And I've now got a little drop down there where I can pick the different values and it would update my formulas. Look at that. I think this is just so cool. Nice interactive little drop down menu. Users can pick from there. I'm not relying on me to spell it correctly. They don't have to look at the list and it's like, oh, what can I search for? You got a little drop down right there where you can pick the criteria that you want. And we can apply this to each of your little boxes, whatever you need to do. But applying data validation, nice little pick list, to a formula, making it more interactive and more dynamic and more usable for our users. Try it out.